August, and I bet you're wondering, what have I done with my life so far? Hey, put that on hold because it is time for Buzzfeed. Spies, lies, drugs and alcohol. Oh yes, it is going to be a good one. So what is your news buzz of the week?
Mr. Speaker,
good old national news. I like nothing more than watching our beloved politicians yell over the top of each other to get a point across, or desperately yell for Mr. Speaker when their tantrum goes unnoticed.
Prime Minister would continue with the answer, please.
So, Mr. Speaker,
Spying, anti-terrorism, and phone leaking were the conversations in Parliament this week. The freedom of New Zealand journalists is being called into question after it was revealed that the phone records of a Fairfax reporter, Andrea Vance, were handed to a ministerial inquiry without her permission. This came a day after the Defence Force confirmed it had loomed up some investigative journalists in the same category as terrorists. Now, fast forward a couple of days, the head of Parliamentary Services, Jeff Thorne, resigns himself. More hype is created around the GCSB bill, and a small little detail is released about how Vance's emails were also leaked. Don't you love the government? Democracy, more like hypocrisy. Now this spy versus spy situation has taken an ironic twist as the Defence Force is also facing allegations of spying on a journalist. It seems this week's revelations couldn't come at a worse time for the government when it was trying to pass a bill that critics say gives the country's spies even greater powers. Speaking of which, the GCSB bill is in its second reading, and so far John Key is not doing a great job of being a GC. His reasoning behind the requirements claims that there may be some terrorists living in our own backyard. I think the real terrorism in this country is our insane prices on milk and petrol. $2.20 a litre for each. I'm either missing out on cereal or driving to work. Sometimes both. In a statement on behalf of Parliamentary Services, Speaker Mr. Carter said that the handing over of the phone records was completely unacceptable, and he has apologised. Bless him. And Peter Dunn, you ask? Well, he resigned following its release after he refused to hand over emails to the report's author, David Henry. And the Greens? Well, they always have something to say.
I think it is another cynical use of privileged security information by the Prime Minister. And if he was genuine about protecting the security of New Zealand, he would do it in the national interest instead of his own sectarian political interest.
And what about our beloved Shearer?
He will not come clean, sir. He keeps on saying that he gives the answer, and then we find there's another answer behind that one, and there's something else and something else.
And what's Key's take on this?
the paper trail, well, actually, funny enough, bugger lugs, I'm not, but anyway.
And what about the head of Parliamentary Services, Jeff Thorne? Actually, sorry, we can't go to his response, he quit. It seems the latest bombshell about the phone records takes this issue to an entirely new level, and one that will be a real problem for the government, which has been in constant damage control as of late. This breach of trust over the phone records and what goes on between political journalists and politicians makes me just that much more paranoid when I accidentally ring those 0900 numbers. Now, it's not that I don't want them snooping around in my history, it's just that I don't want them snooping around in my history. And you guys don't want them snooping around in your history either, right? So, Mr. Key, I know that you want to go spying and all, but don't you have your own kids to do that? I mean, you're not my dad, you're not the nation's dad either, you're just the Prime Minister. So, let's lay that matter to rest and let's ask the question, what was your sports buzz? The sports buzz of the week is doping. Now, just before you grab your Bob Marley discs, that's not quite what I'm talking about. I am talking about performance enhancement drugs in our world of sports. Yes, you know it, you've heard it, and you've seen it time and time again. Olympics, baseball, Tour de France, and any kid who has ever beat you at Athletics Day. Recent revelations have come about proving that Tyson Gay, second fastest runner behind Usain Bolt, side note, I'm pretty sure Usain Bolt is Jamaican for lightning, has failed not one but 2 drug tests. Yes, Tyson's B sample from May came back positive, just as the US doping agency revealed that he failed anoted drug test.
Wins it well from a Just off a pound, 9!
You know what though, I'd actually love to live in a world where our top athletes were permitted to take performance enhancers for sports. I mean, it's fine and all how shot puts distances are currently being thrown at 20 meters and runners are clocking in at under 10 seconds, but how amazing would it be to see a shot put toss go through the stadium, or a runner making 100 meters in 4 seconds? Now that would be athleticism. Maybe we should create an Olympics of doping athletes. However, fair is fair. Bolt will always be Bolt for a reason, a crazy superhuman lightning bolt fast as hell reason that is. I mean, it's crazy to say, but I think he might actually give the Flash a run for his money.
Myself, my team, the people I work with, and I know I'm clean, so I'm just going to continue running and using my talent and just trying to improve the sport and help the sport.
And that's what Valerie Adams is doing for Belarusian Ostapchuk. Actually, Ostapchuk, if you're watching, here's a word of warning.
Never forgive her, never will. She's tainted the sport, she's tainted our event, and it's something that she shouldn't have done. And the worst thing about it, I think, was for me, was that she took the moment away. Yeah, no sympathy whatsoever. She can stay in Belarus forever.
Now, here's the thing. I can't even begin to feel Tyson's shame. Not only is it bad enough that he gets caught for doping, but how embarrassing is it to still come second after all of that? Sorry Tyson, but not only do you not deserve the medal for running, but you probably are the worst cheater ever. You're not even good at being bad.
Jamaicans do this and they do this, you know, but I just worry about what we do, you know what I'm saying, in my camp. You know, I can't really worry about what someone else does.
Hugs, not drugs, is precisely what Tyson should have been telling himself. But he didn't. I mean, I understand you're going up against Usain Bolt, not your regular kind of guy, but hey, didn't you want to lose gracefully? Honestly? Not all drugged up? Maybe not. Some people just never learn. And speaking of which, here is your entertainment buzz of the week. From this...
It's shocking how it's become popular to go to rehab, right? I just have my eye on the prize, which for me is a long career. You go to clubs and you hang out with those people that maybe it would be easy, but I'm not interested in that. I've never even been offered drugs. Birds of a feather flock together, sure. And I definitely don't fly with that crowd.
To this... Yes, in a saga of celebrities spiraling in and out of the spotlight as much as court or rehab, Amanda Bynes has definitely stolen the show this year. The once young innocent American sweetheart has now turned into a total rebel badass. Amanda's most recent stunt involves her setting a fire on the driveway of her parents' neighbor's house with a gasoline tank in one hand and a Pomeranian puppy in the other. But don't worry, she made sure to wash off her pup at the local alcohol store. Now, I'm not usually one to encourage the behaviour of sports stars, but I can't get over my childhood crush over Amanda and the endless hours of entertainment on The Amanda Show. And I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, all you have to do is look at the history. She's always been the centre of attention.
Popularity.
She made her way into court a long time ago.
Sit down, I am Judge Trudy. Now,
wait, excuse me, you're the judge?
No, I'm a bowl of fruits.
And being arrested for menacing behaviour by the cops is all too familiar.
My name is Penelope Tate.
She now further proves that you don't always need a TV network for a platform for entertainment.
My insane popularity.
A spiral of drugs, rehab, DUIs, trolling fans and celebs over Twitter means that you can still provide skit after skit of wackiness and hilarity. Maybe she still thinks that the Amanda Show is still on and she is merely putting on a show for our amusement. And possibly the only way she can stay in character is with a concoction of drugs, alcohol and silly wigs. Hey, you always need props. And yes, we've seen it happen time and time again. I'm talking about the Lohans, the Winehouses, and the Mosses of the world. But maybe there's hope. Britney went from bold to beautiful. I mean, she's done well for herself, hasn't she?
That was not a great song for you to sing.
The song was just in the wrong key.
You're really off key.
It's just not sung on key.
I don't think you have that wow factor.
I think you're confused with your direction.
Me, I'm gonna have to say no.
No.
And everybody thinks I'm the mean one.
It's Britney, bitch.
Maybe not. Well, let's not hold it against her. Let bygones be bygones.
We need to pray for her.
Amen.
But we also need to get her the hell out of here.
Amen.
Easy A for Amanda? Seems it's not so easy after all.
So I've got a date with 3 lobsters. See ya!
What can I say? I mean, you can take the Amanda out of the spotlight, but you can't take the spotlight out of the Amanda. And as much as I want to party with her, I don't associate myself with those kinds of people. I don't go clubbing. I don't go to rehab because it's not the popular thing. And you know what? These birds of a feather, yeah, they stick together.
Any last word?
Yes, Primey, I do have some last words. If you're gonna cheat, do it right. If you're gonna take drugs, get some fame out of it. And if you are gonna spy, just do it with one eye in a car game. I know, not that hard. Now I'm gonna leave you with some shots of a movie that has just come out and I think it's going to be awesome. I'm gonna go check it out. Now you see me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
For our final trick.
we are going to rob a bank. On the count of 3, you will be teleported through space and time to your bank in Paris. 1, 2,
3. Everyone in this room was a victim of hard times.
Some of you lost your homes, your cars, and so tonight,
We're gonna return some of that money back to you.
thank you everyone. We are the 4 Horsemen. Good night.